sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hello. Ooh, we did it right on a cue.
We did it together.
As we do everything. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Maple.
And I am Heather Terry.
And this is our True Crime Power Hour, in which we tell you some crazy shit about fucked up people doing fucked up things for absolutely, most of the time, no fucking reason.
Yes.
But their internal trauma, sadness, and pain.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Fucked up.
Sadly.
I didn't even know you cussed.
Right? No one else did either.
I know. Surprise.
Ooh, look at that. Let's talk about some things.
Yeah,
First,
I think we should.
I am trying to sell my phone on Facebook Marketplace.
This makes me so happy. For one, you hate talking to strangers.
I hate talking to strangers. I hate doing anything of any magnitude that involves selling things.
I was honestly waiting for you to be like, I really don't want to do this and say it 9 times till I was like, you know what, I'll just do it for you.
I wish I would have, because there's a website that you can like Gazelle or something where you can just sell your shit on its own. And it was like, oh, we'll buy it right now for $225. But you were like, oh, do $300. And then I Googled how much I should sell my phone for, and it's like $367.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I'm not going to throw away $150 to just have to deal with all these people asking me shit.
Yeah, plus it's kind of fun for me to read it and watch the journey.
I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it, but man, weddings aren't cheap. Mama's got to make that money.
Slinging that iPhone cat around.
Yeah.
You got to.
Slinging it, doing my thing. I'll let you know
I can't
how it
wait
goes.
till you get like a penis. It's like, I will trade you this eggplant for your iPhone.
I'd rather die. I'd rather. I can tell you there's very few penises out there that are worth an iPhone. Let's be honest. What else is going on besides that fucking weird ass YouTuber?
Okay.
Yes.
No, that YouTuber spent $14,000, and I know y'all have seen this video.
Yeah, there's no way you haven't.
$14,000 on a realistic collie costume.
Was it realistic?
Did you see the video?
Yes,
of
it is
him
not
walking.
realistic.
The dogs thought it was. And the person thought
a dog. Okay.
Yeah.
If a human being thought that was real, they should be shot. They should be attacked by hungry dogs.
It's very the show My Strange Addiction, which you know is literally My Strange Addiction.
What do they call their
the fluffies?
That's basically just a fluffy.
Yeah. Well, the fluffies have. Yeah. That's
I
a
can't
whole
get over
other
that.
rabbit hole.
I
but
didn't dig into enough to understand the who, the what, and the why.
I don't know the who. I just saw this lady walking a man in a $14,000 border collie costume.
So how tiny was the man if he could play the size of a dog? That's the first thing I thought was like.
It's a big dog. It's a big dog.
I watched the video too. That is not a big dog. He didn't say, I'm going to be a fucking Great Dane. You know what I'm saying? It's like a border collie. That's not even known as a big dog.
He just looked like a big old lassie.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Well, listen, we're talking about it though.
Well, how stupid thing. Because we're making fun of him.
I know, but press is press. So now everybody's going to
We don't even know his name.
His name is Fake Lassie. What the fuck is his name?
Because no one cares about that. They're just like, look at this fucking idiot.
I know. And you thought I spent a lot on Halloween costumes. Never again can you tell me that.
You ain't lying.
I'm not crawling around the dog park here in Owensboro, Kentucky in a dog costume yet.
Oh, my God.
See, I can't get rich because that would be the shit I would do. Dumb shit with my money. I would like donate to dog charities and then.
That's dumb shit? That is not dumb shit. Donating to
good,
charities.
and then I would do something to counteract that in the universe by doing something.
I cannot imagine if you were loaded.
Because I'm not loaded and it's super fun. So.
Yeah, I couldn't even unpack it. If I got loaded, I'd probably be on some stupid fucking diet. I would definitely like be on a mountain where I was like...
with my face carved into the side.
Sure.
Yes, you heard it first.
With like a garden that would be self-sustaining. That's what I would do.
Your hands in the earth.
Yeah.
Those Temu garden gloves that I got you that look like cat claws.
Yeah, what a good time.
I know.
Do you want to dive into our stories?
I think that you know what? Let's do it.
I think we should do it. So do it to it. My works cited page is the Palm Beach Post, which makes no sense. Wikipedia, Sportskeeda, also doesn't make sense. NPR.
Okay.
So do you happen to remember that, like, at any time in your life that there was, like, this big influx of women being murdered while they were going on runs? Do you happen?
No, I probably blocked that out of my brain because it was running. So probably not.
I specifically remember, number one, I've just started running again, and I always have. Then I was a big runner in Miami, and I remember like trying to be really like a defense runner, if you will.
What does that
like,
mean?
Back before we had AirPods, like, and you just had the ones that were on the string, like behind, not the one that was like actually plugged into the phone, but Bluetooth. Anytime I ran, whenever I saw other people, I'd always take one of my earphones out so that I could hear if they were ever coming after me.
Pay attention.
Yeah, I never ran with all of my, like, I never ran to where I couldn't then run another like half a mile. Like, never run to complete exhaustion.
Look how smart.
So that you could run away from. That's not smart. That's sad that I had to think about that.
It is sad, but it's tips and tricks that someone might not think about.
Yeah. Pay attention if, like, as often as you can to keep a headphone out. That's probably half the time that's the issue is stopping to help somebody. Usually they'll act like they're lost or some shit like that. Having your headphones in and having it too loud. Thinking you're safe in private environments where you're not, which sucks because we're always in the country or something like that, which happens here.
Yeah.
And just making sure that you still have enough in the gas tank to get away. But back in 2016, and I remember this, which is why I ended up doing this story, was pulling up women who were murdered when they went running. And there was an odd influx of it in 2016, like a very bizarre rise in women being killed within a very short amount of time, like a few days.
Oh.
So Alexandra Bruger, she was a nurse in Detroit. She was shot and killed during a 10-mile run on a dirt trail. Just shot and killed out of nowhere.
Just
shot.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Karina Ventrano, she was raped and killed while running on a trail in Queens, New York. I remember this one. They said that she had put up such a ferocious fight against her attacker that she had bit him so hard it cracked her own teeth.
Oh. Well, good for her, though, but fuck that guy.
And then another New York resident, actually, I think this is the one I remember, Vanessa Marcotti. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm sorry. She was found dead, burned, and possibly sexually assaulted after not returning from a run after she had left her parents' house in Princeton, Massachusetts.
Fuck.
Yeah. And actually, and this one's not shocking at all. I'm kind of surprised the number's as low as it is, but on average, 10% of murders to a female are done by strangers.
Huh.
Only 10%. But I also did not Google how many, like the demographic of male versus female on percentage of murders.
Yeah. Well,
Who's more likely to be murdered?
Go back and do your data
women.
analysis. We'll wait here.
But it's intriguing it's
That
10%. But also we got to be vigilant. So I don't have any good story of how this poor girl could have been vigilant because there really isn't a storyline behind it. I don't know how she could have been stronger or smarter. I think the biggest key takeaway, if we have to have a takeaway in these moments, as I kind of mentioned those tips, which also, whenever you are running, I've told Heather this before because I'd run before the sun came up. And I was always kind of nervous that it would be a garbage man. That was the only person I could think of that would actually be able to get me in my neighborhood, if you will. But there's obviously pepper spray is relatively small. It can go in a pocket. It can go in a fanny pack or anything like that. But there's also those little rings that go on your finger. That is then like a fucking stabbing claw. These are freaking pepper spray on Amazon, less than $10. Those little claws are like $5. So even if you think something can't happen to you, be smart, prepare yourself, and just make sure that you have the appropriate tools at hand in case there is somebody who comes after you because you're an opportunity to them. And that is what happened in the sad story here.
Oh, no.
So Mollie Cecilia Tibbetts, I would love for you to look her up because she's just somebody you got to look up. Her name's Mollie, Mollie.
Well, that's a cute
Tibbetts,
name.
Tibbetts. So she was born on May 8th of 98. So she was super young in San Francisco, California. Her parents' names are Robert and Laura. They had 2 other kids, and they were really great, but they end up divorcing whenever she's in the 2nd grade. She moves to Iowa with her mother and her 2 other siblings. Now, there's no love lost with their dad. Their dad stayed really close to them. It wasn't like a shitty bad experience, you know what I mean? So she was still close with her dad. When she gets older, she decides to move to Brooklyn, Iowa. Out of that I ended up picking Brooklyn, Iowa. I didn't even know there was a place.
Yeah.
But it's a small town that's apparently 70 miles from Des Moines. In case anyone's over there with their maps curious about where it was.
By the way, real quick,
she's beautiful.
Is adorable.
Yeah.
Like she looks like a picture that comes in the frame.
Yep. That's the whole reason why I'm having you look her up.
Before you buy it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
She's sweet and wonderful. She was oddly enough studying psychology at the University of Iowa. She was only a freshman when everything kind of took place here, and she was working as a children's day camp person.
Of course she was. How cute.
At Grinnell Regional Medical Center. I don't even know exactly what that is.
Sounds like shit with kids.
Yeah. But she's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's why just so sweet.
I know.
And she was prepping to go into her sophomore year. As I mentioned, she's super young. She's 20 years old. So she's a former cross-country runner, and so obviously she loves to do so on her free time. On July 18th of 2018, she ends up leaving the home of her boyfriend for just an evening jog. She was last seen at approximately 7:30 p.m. and was reported missing by her family when she didn't show up for work the next day. Now, according to police, her last confirmed communication was with her boyfriend, who was of 3 years, and she had left his house. He was traveling for work. So he was out of town. She was staying over. He had dogs, and she was watching his dogs. Goes for a run. She ends up snapping him. And it looked like she was at home, like she was
like
inside.
Snapchat?
Yeah, she Snapchatted him later in the evening, and it appeared that she was indoors. So that's kind of all the information they have. I read somewhere that he was cheating on her, and then so he was a suspect for a second. But obviously, there's proof that he was out of town.
Mm-hmm.
But then her mom ends up stating that he had bought her an engagement ring and was going to propose. So I don't know.
People say all kinds of shit
just to say shit. So first, I'd literally like written in my notes, fuck him if that's true. And then I went back and read something else. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Brutal. You don't really know, but.
Okay. Well, we're going to give him the benefit.
We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But over the next several weeks, the police from multiple different states, and this is a beautiful white woman. Let's really be honest what's happening here.
Yeah.
In multiple states, they investigate hundreds of leads in the case, including an unconfirmed sighting at a truck stop in Missouri, which was also false. And they were obviously not able to locate her. They had received over 2,300 tips, and they conducted over 500 interviews during roughly the 4 weeks that she was missing.
4 weeks, they did 500 interviews. Mm-hmm. That feels like a shit ton.
Yeah. But an interview could literally be just like going up to people's house and be like, did you see anything strange going on? No.
Yeah.
Any weird cars? No. Okay. Bye.
Still the time that takes
totally
and all that shit.
100%.
Some people, yeah.
They also tried to, which is all, this blows me away. This was 2018. This shit's even more wild on the Apple Watches now. But she had a Fitbit on. Mm-hmm. And so they were trying to track her location from her Fitbit.
What year is this again? Sorry. 2018?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, when you think about it, too, the newest watches now have the EKGs or whatever. And so essentially they could pinpoint the moment my heart would stop if I died.
How crazy is that?
It's very crazy.
Yeah.
Just wild. And they would likely know my path to get there, I would presume, if my tracking's on. Anyway, about 4 weeks after Tibbetts' disappearance, the police said that the search had been refocused to several specific areas in and around Brooklyn, including her boyfriend's home, that truck stop that we had talked about, a car wash, and then there's 2 area farms that are over there as well. From what it kind of looked like, it almost looked like she was fucking running through cornfields, but I don't really know if that's at all the case.
I mean, shit.
The green belt.
Do they do that?
The green belt we have.
Yeah. Like, because, I mean, she does cross country. She runs far.
Yeah. Grad here in Owensboro, which is another portion of the Greenbelt, is through cornfields, just like the one that our little Wilderness Wednesdays we used to do. So essentially, if somebody wanted to grab you and pull you into the field pretty deep, you wouldn't be found either.
That's the first thing I told you when we went walking on the pathway here in town, the Greenbelt, was when I was like, you did this by yourself?
Yeah, all the time. And I did a way more intense path before, too, and I got yelled at by all my male coworkers because they're like, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, how stupid that women can't fucking run.
It is sad and dumb.
It is sad and dumb.
But also, I want you to be alive. So
yeah, well, I'm prepared.
Yes.
Monetary rewards for information leading to obviously them finding her safely had gone up to $366,000.
Wow.
Which was the most they had ever done at their local Crime Stoppers branch, which is interesting here. All that money that's raised afterwards for this specific one, it either went back to the people who donated the funds or they gave it to the family.
Yeah.
Which I think is really sweet if something else happened. Now, sadly, on August 21st, police announced that they did find her body in a farm in town.
Oh, no.
She was buried under leaves and stalks, and the only thing that you could see was her bright running shoes. Now, they do believe it was sexual in nature because she wasn't wearing any pants, and it appears that it was her sports bra and her shoes. Now, she had been stabbed several times.
No.
Now, if you're curious about how they found the body, it's because a man led her there. The man who killed her, which was a 27-year-old named Christian, Christ, Thian, Chrislian, I think I'm saying that right, Behana Rivera. Yes. And so Chrislian, I'm just going to call him Rivera because that's a super weird name. He lived and worked in that rural area where she had vanished. He was actually a farmhand. He was originally from El Guayabillo, Mexico, and he had arrived illegally when he was 17. He had worked at another farm before coming to Yarrabee Farms, which is where he was at the time, and he had gotten his checks under the name of John Budd.
What?
He was an illegal immigrant.
Wow. John Budd, huh?
Yeah. He ended up telling investigators that he had approached Tibbetts because he found her super attractive and that he fought her after she had threatened to call the police. So he was basically driving up and down the road he saw her, turned back around, and had done so either one time or multiple times, and was probably talking to her and was like, "Hey, I think you're hot, something." And she was like, "I'll call the cops, like back the fuck up."
Yeah, like get the fuck away from me.
Yes. Yeah. And then he says that he blacked out and that he came to,
he did.
And her body was in the trunk.
So fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I hate when they say that shit. Because she was like, dude, I'm going to call the cops on you. You black out with rage. Fuck you.
Yeah. So the cops were turned on to him like when they had finally received the footage from a nearby surveillance camera.
So
and that's where they see his Chevy Malibu driving back and forth in the area where she was jogging. So he was basically stalking her while she was running. After linking the car to him, they approached him and they said he confessed to kidnapping and killing her and then dumping her body. According to an affidavit that was filed by the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office, he led them to the body in a secluded location, and that was within that cornfield, and pretty much just admitted to it in that moment.
Really? He just was like, yeah, I wonder what and he just said, I blacked out.
Yep. But of course, we have to wait. And we have to now get to court and figure out what kind of bullshit you're going to say.
Yeah.
His attorney even says, this is so fucking dumb. So his attorney at one point is like, he's not an illegal immigrant. There's like a case being brought against the fact that he's an illegal immigrant and he shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being pulled because I think like the attorney was like, oh no, he's not illegal. And the guy's saying he's not illegal. Mm-hmm. And so the attorney is like drawing paperwork saying, no, he is a resident, and they're like, show us. And he can't, and then they have to pull the fucking paper. Like,
it just says John Budd in crayon on like spiral notebook. He's like, this is my social security number, 124.
Right.
With a smiley face.
So, anyway, the lawyers had argued that his confession was false and coerced, and that their client gave surprise testimony at trial, sharing a different account. Because, of course,
they coached him.
We need something else. What could make this happen? Obviously, two masked men.
Of course.
Are going to kidnap him from his trailer at gunpoint.
Oh.
Made him drive over there while they told him to stay quiet and that his young daughter and ex-girlfriend would be killed.
What?
If he didn't kill her.
He said that on the stand?
Mm-hmm.
He said that.
Yes.
Did he see that movie while he was in jail, waiting trial?
I have no idea. And then I think at one point they were like, oh, it was her boyfriend made me, or like just dumb.
Just reaching for straws.
Yeah.
That's so
very
stupid.
Jodi Arias of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Whenever I think of just obscene fucking storylines, like the most bizarre, absurd things, I always think of Jodi.
Yes, you do. Because that is very accurate.
Yeah. Just like here's some random. A unicorn flew into my bedroom and sprinkled dust on me.
Y'all
and
should have seen this dragon.
You need to do this.
I don't know why we both went Southern draw, but here we are.
Then it happened.
Here we are.
On August 22nd of 2018, he was charged with first-degree murder.
Good.
His bond was raised from $1 million to $5 million.
Good, fucking.
When they said that he was a noted flight risk because he's not a fucking U.S. citizen.
Right.
So probably easier for him to get back into Mexico.
Yeah.
On the 24th, he changed his legal counsel. Chad and Jennifer Friese, a married couple who work for the same law firm, were privately retained by his relatives to represent him. I just hit my knee pretty hard. On September 19th now, he pleads not guilty.
So okay.
Right.
He switched counsel because they made him tell that dumb story, I'm assuming.
I have no fucking clue. His family's like, you're not going to get off. But now he's pleading not guilty. So if anything, maybe they're the ones that were saying, you need to say that someone else did it. And we're going to plead not guilty now.
This is so fucking insane.
It is.
All right, keep going.
So then 2 years later, May 17th, 2021, all of this shit kept getting fucking pushed back because of COVID. So whenever he does finally get whatever it is, his verdict, he's wearing a mask. So that tells you how fucking long 2018 through into COVID that it happened. On May 28th, he's found guilty of first-degree murder. Everyone fucking was like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And they ordered him to be held without bond. On August 30th, so just a little, May 28th to August 30th, he's sentenced to life in prison without parole in a maximum security prison.
Good.
Now, let's try not to cry here. So Tibbetts' younger brother and his football team, they ended up memorializing her by printing her initials on their team jerseys. Some runners use the hashtag Miles for Mollie to highlight harassment and safety issues experienced by women whenever they go for runs.
Wow.
Yeah. Her friend started an online group that gained attention on social media called the Mollie Movement. And that was really, really just encouraging people to be fucking kind to each other in the honor of Mollie.
Yeah.
How cute is that?
That is very cute.
So sad. During the funeral, her family called for the mourners to remember her passion for life and her desire to help others, and that we should be celebrating something wonderful, such as her father highlighting the marriage of Blake and Allie Jack, who had been married the day before her funeral, and she was supposed to be the maid of honor at their wedding.
Wow. That is, wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Right?
Uh-huh.
My God. I do want to mention, because I feel obligated to, and just because of the fact that I'm saying an illegal immigrant killed somebody, I want to point out that obviously this did become a political talking point for more restrictive immigration policies. But what's really important for people to kind of keep in mind, if you're starting to feel a certain negative way, despite all of the research out there, it's less likely for an undocumented immigrant to commit a crime versus an American.
100%. That's what I was thinking whenever you said that. So I'm glad that you brought that up because, I'm sure that it was made into politics for sure. Like,
it was during the Trump era too. And so like that happened I stopped reading. Once I saw that stat, I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to do anything else. But I saw like Trump was highlighted in the thing and I was like, I'm going to leave that where it lies.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I'm sure people were thinking that. But I mean, like you said, it's more likely to.
It's a way bigger issue too. Like he's in a prison in the United States, which I don't know why it kind of shocks me. Like you wouldn't be deported and go to prison there because Mexicans' prisons are probably worse than ours in most cases. That's what I've heard. But then he also didn't commit the crime there. So if he was deported,
I don't know. But like you said, everybody sucks.
Everybody fucking sucks.
Poor Mollie.
Poor Mollie.
Don't you try to get my goat with that whole maid of honor thing. That kind of got me for a second. That's why I had to pause because then I would cry and then you'd be uncomfortable. Because
I couldn't imagine it being your wedding day and like your best friend was supposed to be there and they were brutally murdered for no fucking reason.
Yeah, I'm literally going to cry. I can't think about that right now.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, that's...
I am. Well, don't get murdered before my wedding, man.
Okay. Well, note to self. Well, I don't run, so there's that. See, it's why I don't run.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Yes. I was like, the next time I run, I need to do hashtag Miles for Mollie.
I think that you should.
I just am not a big, hey, everyone, look at me, I ran, because that's what it feels like whenever you do those posts. But.
Yeah.
Well, that was my story. The beautiful, the wonderful, the infamous, the sweet baby angel, Mollie Cecilia Tibbetts. Rest in peace, sweet girl.
Wow. Okay. Well, now I got to follow that up. So there's that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know. That was insane. Now we're going to go a different direction. And this is the murder of Elizabeth Olten. Here we go.
I know this.
You do?
I know the name.
Okay, well, don't look. Yeah, don't look.
I know it. I don't know how I know it, but I know
hold tight and then I'll tell you Google time. How about that?
No, I
Yes, quit looking. Okay.
I can't.
No, stop. Give me your phone. I'm going to put it in a black pouch like you're at a concert.
Don't worry. It popped up Elizabeth Olten anyway.
Okay, good. My sources were the Deadly Women episode 8, season 6 called No Good Reason, Wikipedia, an episode of the podcast called Inhuman, and then Murderpedia. And the story's got a little bit of everything in it. So triggers, suicide, self-harm, literally everything.
Shit,
so just so you know about that.
Ow.
I mean, people don't come here for, our glitter and unicorn stories. So I think it's fine.
No, maybe they should.
When we'll switch gears one day. Then I was pumped because we're going to CrimeCon, if people don't know, in September, and Candace DeLong got announced. So I started watching Deadly Women last weekend. And this was an episode, and I was like, oh shit, I have to do this episode.
That had to have been how I know it.
I had to do this episode.
Yeah.
So
God, I love her.
Yeah.
I went to see her eyebrows, her arched eyebrows.
God, she's
I went to
70.
sit on the corner of her arched eyebrow.
Like an elf on the shelf.
I went to Elf on the motherfucking shelf on her fucking eyebrow.
Candace on the DeLong.
Because that's all I can think about. Is
Sitting
her
on her.
eyebrows.
I just think I want to be her when I grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or now. Whatever.
I know. We don't have to grow. We're literally
Grown. We're already up. Okay. Here we go. Elizabeth Bustamante was born on January 28th, 1994 in California. She had a really, really rough upbringing. Like her dad was on drugs and alcohol, and her mom was also a drug addict and alcoholic. Her mom abandoned her when she was super young, and she overdosed right in front of her. Like she said, like, "Mommy, wake up," and she was only 6. So not saying that justifies any of her future actions, but I'm pretty sure it didn't help. So
fuck.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
I know.
At 6 too,
6 years old.
6, I believe you can, like, your first memories are between 3 and like
You said 3. You looked it up
3,
one time.
yeah. Mm-hmm. So that sucks.
Yeah.
I looked it up because I think of that mommy murder. Remember that one guy who killed the mom and then acted like she had given out Christmas presents? Yeah. Gosh, people are fucking crazy.
Okay.
All right, continue. Sorry, I'll shush it.
In 2002, authorities finally came and took her and her 3 younger siblings out of her parents' care, or care in air quotes, and she went to live with her grandparents in St. Martin's, Missouri. Now, St. Martin's is small, Midwestern, 1,000 people, low crime rate, everybody knows everybody kind of place.
I love those.
The court ordered her grandma to take in Alyssa, and then she had 2 brothers and a sister, so I just had to point that out. Her grandma was it was a good place for her to be, but her mental health started declining. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
She didn't really stand a chance. At age 13, over Labor Day weekend in 2007, Alyssa tried to commit suicide. She took a bottle of pills, and she was actually hospitalized for 10 days.
How old was she?
She was 13. 10 days she was in the hospital.
Ooh, man.
Her
So
grandma
she almost fucking succeeded.
Yeah. Her grandma found her and then was like, "Oh, you need help," because on the outside looking in, she was fine.
Really, I'm so sorry, but like, remember in South Korea, that means that they would just kill her?
Oh, yeah. Now, right?
Right.
You know what you said?
Yeah.
That they do that. If you attempt and you fail, they'll do it anyway.
No, yeah, they'll execute you.
That's
Isn't that
fucking
crazy?
insane.
Just a 13-year-old? Oh, my God. Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
So she goes through several different therapists while she's being hospitalized, obviously, and then they prescribe her with antidepressants. And again, like I said, outside looking in, she was like A and B student. She went to church all the time, well-spoken, had friends, teachers liked her, like the whole 9. But there was a dark side to her that not a lot of people saw. They said it was basically like she had 2 different lives and was 2 different people altogether.
So split personality disorder, probably?
Nailed it. Mm-hmm. After she tried to kill herself, that's when her friends said they started to notice she was kind of letting the darker side out a little bit more. Her online persona got very active and very dark. Like she was on YouTube and all the social media and stuff. If you met her at church or the grocery store, she was just a typical kid.
I'm asking a question because you know the story, obviously. Is there are they implying that she was able to turn it on or turn it off, and not that?
Yeah. They thought that, and Queen Candace DeLong said that it was like she was able to be herself, her true self, quote unquote, online.
Okay, so then I think she was just a psychopath. Because split personality disorder, you don't know and you can't control it. And you're one person and you essentially go into I just think always got to hit the mic.
Yeah.
You go into a room, if you will, and then the other personality comes out. So I guess she was probably just a fucking psychopath.
She had she was diagnosed with a lot of stuff. So she begins cutting herself, and she had over 300 cuts, burn marks, bites, and all of that by age 15. So Candace DeLong said on the show that cutting temporarily distracts her from being like the physical pain, or no, the psychological pain. Wow, that was hard. Psychological pain that she had going on in her head, because the physical pain would distract her. But it's only temporary, and then your anxiety rises again, and then the depression deepens, and it's just a big cycle.
Oh, it's a fucking brutal one.
Yeah. The dark side of Alyssa was known as Bad Alyssa, and she starts showing her ass online. So on her YouTube channel, she posted that her hobbies were cutting and killing people, and she's 15 years old.
Can I Google now? Because I stopped because you made me nervous.
Well, yeah.
Let me just see a photo.
Okay, you can do a photo. I'll allow it. She even posted a YouTube video of her trying to get her 2 younger brothers to touch an electric fence and was like cackling in the
now
YouTube.
I remember.
She was cackling in the YouTube video.
Okay, now I remember.
Okay.
I remember her fucking Justin Bieber hair.
Okay. She posted photos of her holding her fingers to her own head, like to acting like she was killing herself and stuff. So basically she was going downhill real quick. Then she tells a few close friends she wants to kill people, talks about hurting herself, hurting others, and like kind of obsessed with it. But her friends just thought she's just showing off.
Yeah, why would you think a 15-year-old girl could kill anyone anyway?
That's what they were like.
A skinny little bitch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think much of it either.
No, that's why they just thought, well, she's just showing off and trying to act like a badass.
If it was a 16-year-old big football player, they'd be like, well, maybe he's going to start raping and killing girls, but like not a little skinny twerp.
Yeah. And 9-year-old Elizabeth Olten lived 4 houses down from Alyssa, and she was really good friends with her half-sister Emma. Elizabeth was a little sweet baby angel. She was just had lots of friends. Everybody liked her, like a typical little girl. On October 15th, 2009, Alyssa's obsession with killing someone continued because she dug a grave behind her house.
Wow.
And, yeah. All she needs is a victim.
So her guardians are not noticing that there's a grave it's October 15th.
Halloween. There was wood, right? There was woods back there. So like it was kind of wooded.
It's not like just, we look like we're about to do a funeral back there.
Yeah, it's not like porch. Oh, you let the dog out. Where'd the dog go? It fell in the grave. No, it's like out in the woods.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay. On October 21st, 2009, Elizabeth came over to play with Alyssa's sister Emma, like she did all the time.
Yeah.
And actually, it was come to find out that Alyssa had asked Emma to go over there and ask her to come play. When it was time to go home around 6, so her mom was like, you can go over there for like an hour, right? Alyssa told Elizabeth, here, I have a surprise for you in the woods. Oh, God, I hate this. There was a highway separating their houses, so Elizabeth walked through the woods back and forth to get home because she didn't want to cross the highway. She did it all the time to get to her house. And when she trusted Alyssa, she saw her, so she went.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, she was like, okay, yeah. She's 9.
Why wouldn't you? I would trust her.
Yeah. Friggin' Alyssa attacked her. She tried to cut her throat with a kitchen knife, and Elizabeth fought back like she had defensive wounds on her hand. Then Alyssa strangled her until, and I quote, the light went out of her eyes. She stabbed her several times after that as well and said she was experimenting with her dark fantasies. I fucking hate this bitch. She put her in that grave that she had dug 6 days before that, and then she covered it up very well, apparently. And then it started storming. And so Alyssa goes home, she cleaned up, and then she put the knife in the dishwasher.
So this 15-year-old girl tries to cut a 9-year-old's throat.
And succeeds.
She does succeed? Mm-hmm. Oh. But she ended up dying from her strangling.
Then strangles her and then stabs her. Yeah.
That is why. That's awfully personal.
No record. No nothing.
I mean, she already had a record for killing. She already did, kind of. She had a psychological record.
Oh, yeah. For attempting, criminal record.
Right. But there's also self-harm in there. So there's she's a flagged one.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it gets worse.
Ugh.
I don't know how, but it does. So Alyssa wrote in her diary when she got home, and then she went to a church dance. Like nothing was wrong. Like it was funny to her, which makes me fucking angry. Elizabeth's mom obviously got worried because her mom never came home. So she called the cops at like 6:30 because her daughter was never late. She goes over there all the time. It was a small town, like I said, with 1,000 people. So everyone was on like out searching right off the bat. They went to the last place Elizabeth was, which was Alyssa's house, and her grandparents were like, "You can come in and look." Like we haven't seen. They said they hadn't seen her, because you think about it. She went over there at 5. They lured her out around. They think it was around 5:30, so her grandparents might not even seen her if they were playing outside.
Yeah, but I would assume that if there were kids in the yard anyway, I didn't notice them.
Yeah, and the cops found her diary and they started reading all this fucked up shit. She tried to Sharpie it out. And they saw the word stab and kill. And that's all they could make out with their naked eyes. And then they obviously looked. Do you want to know what it says?
So they get a search warrant?
No, they let her in. They let them in. The grandparents, they were like, hey, we're looking for this little girl.
I just don't know how legally that would have still held up in court.
They went back and got a search warrant.
I'm just like, okay, so this bitch was smart enough to premeditatively planned to kill this girl, planned the date, planned how to dispose of the body, knew how to clean the murder weapon, but then left a novel
She did.
of her thoughts out in the open, and the cops opened it. I can't imagine that a little girl's missing, and they're like, "Yeah, come in here, sure," and they pick it up and read it.
They did. Well, they were looking for her, and that was the last place. So obviously they were looking for. They said her room looked like a train wreck. So
that's so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Good fucking looking out for those cops.
They probably just picked it up and went to flip through it, and they were like, "Why is this page all Sharpied out?"
Yeah,
that's what I would think.
I would think that too.
And then especially if the words you saw were kill and stab.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Okay. Oh God.
I was just thinking if you did all that shit that you would have hidden it. But whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you what it said.
Go for it.
And it's going to make you.
I had to talk about fucking dead bodies.
Mad.
No,
I know. I'm just saying.
Ain't nothing can beat that.
It's going to piss you off. Okay. Damn it. I don't even want to read it. I just fucking killed someone. I strangled them and slit their throat and stabbed them. Now they're dead. I don't know how to feel at the moment. It was amazing. As soon as you get over the OMG, I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kind of nervous and shaky though right now. Okay, I got to go to church now, LOL. I'm so mad.
That's wild.
They brought in Alyssa and she confessed and took them to the body. They just brought her in. She was like, yep.
Well, we both talked about relatively easy ways to find people.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, we did not have to go through a lot to get these people arrested.
Okay, so when they brought her in for questioning, the cops acted like her friends at first, and they already had Elizabeth's phone records, and Alyssa had actually called her, even though she said she hadn't talked to her. She answered questions like a dumbass 15-year-old girl, though, like she was. So they asked her about the grave in her yard, and she's like, oh, I like to dig holes. Like, say fucking something else. Like, what do you... dig holes? Just one? You liked it for one. Anyway. And then hours into it, they're like, hey, bitch, we have your journal. And then she makes up the story. So she's like, oh, well, Elizabeth, we went in the woods and she fell and hit her head. And she was like, oh, she died. And I got scared I'd got in trouble. So I burned the body and went home. Yeah.
When you hear what she did and how she did it, you're like, all right, this was a relatively intelligent 15-year-old. And then you hear that stuff and you're like, you're a fucking idiot, bro. Right? You are a 15-year-old child.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Then they were like, okay, that's cute that you think that's the story you're going to tell us, but we have your journal. And then she's like, oh, fuck. So then she tells them everything and it matched up. And when they went, she said she went in, they went home, she cleaned up and went to the church dance. No one could believe it either. Like in the town, like even on the episode of the cops, like on the Deadly Women show, they're like crying when they were talking about it, like because it stuck with them so hard. They also found out that weeks before Elizabeth was murdered, clinicians, wow, Clinicia, I don't know what that's what it sounds like a person.
That was like a weird person's name.
I know, Clinicia.
They had called in to Clinicia's fucking tarot card reading.
Oh, yours is better. I said hair salon.
Yep. I did win that one.
You did. You win. Weeks before that, they wanted to commit Alyssa to a mental institution. And I couldn't figure out why, and they never did. But they wanted to. Like a panel of them, not just one doctor, like, you probably should. Like a panel of people reviewed her and were like, she's a danger to herself and others.
Maybe it was just the timing and paperwork.
I don't know. They said long-term hospitalization too, because she was such a danger to herself and others. And
I don't know how she had 300 cuts and she wasn't already institutionalized.
Yeah, that one's wild too. She was diagnosed with antisocial disorder, but the court didn't care because she was still tried as an adult, even though when she was 15 when she killed her. In 2012, the case finally went to trial. She pled guilty to second-degree murder and armed criminal action and got life with the possibility of parole. The judge actually gave her an additional 30 years for the criminal action because she used a knife, because if she does get paroled early, then she has to serve the 30 years right after that anyway.
Oh, okay, good.
So like if you get out when you're 50, she's going to get out when she's 80.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good
so
call.
That was a good call. She took the stand, which we usually talk about how they don't, and she did, and she showed.
Did it show it on there? Sorry, on Deadly Women, did it show it?
They didn't replay it on there, but there's videos and stuff that I really want to watch. But I was so mad after I heard her journal entry that I couldn't watch videos of her. I was already fired up.
I don't know. Her journal entry doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me. It's just like, had to go to church, LOL. I'm like, you little fucking asshole. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And she apologized to Elizabeth's parents in court, but they were like, that's for show.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And they started some foundations and stuff, and her parents they brought lawsuits against the grandparents, against the doctors that treated her and all that stuff. And I don't know what came of it. I know they dropped the one against the grandparents. They brought one against her too, and she's not allowed to make any money from jail. Because every state has different laws or whatever.
Yeah.
So she can't make any money, like if she tries to do a book deal or something. Yeah. So like if she makes any money, they get it. So I know they got some, but I didn't really dive into that.
Did she ever say why she chose her?
That's what I was going to say. The episode of this is called No Good Reason. She had no good reason. They think that she originally had plotted, there was rumors, but no one ever confirmed it, that she was going to kill her brothers. And then when she had a birthday party, she had pulled one friend aside and said, I always wondered what it's like to kill someone. And her friend's like, oh, shut up. And because she got mad at one of the girls there, and she was like, I'm going to kill her. And then they think she got it in her head because the girl, Elizabeth, came over to play with her sister all the time. So they think she was just wrong place, wrong time.
Wow.
Yeah. Literally no good reason. And she's still in prison. That's a sad story of Elizabeth Olten.
Poor little baby angel.
I know. It's wild.
It is wild. It always, always, always sucks whenever there was an opportunity to prevent it from happening.
It's weird that we both picked opportunity once and we didn't even plan that. Yeah. I don't know. It's sad.
It is sad.
I know.
Bummer bear.
Very big bummer bear.
Well, you know what's not a bummer?
What?
Number one, our friendship. And number two, our little, yes, it is August. And yes, we don't care. But we're going to go to Evansville. And Heather and I like to do these fall fun days where we go shopping and go to Bonefish Grill and have fancy little bevies and sneaky snacks. And we go to Target and we go to Spirit Halloween. And we do all the home goods and we do all that shit. So that shit is happening this weekend.
Listen, I'm really excited to do that because you know why? Because you know when Halloween is to me? July 5th.
I was like, what? I was like,
July 5th.
A cooler time because you don't like the heat. Like,
that's a good answer. That is a close second. If we were playing Family Feud, that would have been number 2. Number 1 is because Halloween is July 5th.
I hear you.
In Terrytown.
I'm getting so close to being like, fuck it, motherfuckers. I'm going to start putting up fall decor.
Do you want to talk about what's in your office?
I knew it was happening. You
smirked and I was like, let's do it.
I have a Christmas tree in my office.
No, you have a holiday tree. Yes. Because if you call it a Christmas tree, it's only valid during Christmas.
You're right. I just really like outdoors. And I just want to feel like I was in the Colorado mountains.
No, fuck that. We're going to put Halloween decorations on it and I can't wait.
I was like, what if we just get the Christmas tree out now or the tree out now? And I was like, we're right across the street from fucking the Dollar Tree. Let's just make this a holiday tree. I would never do that in my house because that's not my vibe at all. But everyone has come into my office and laughed at the fact that the Christmas tree, or that I'm calling it the Christmas tree is out.
Yes, do it.
And so I just can't wait to actually decorate it and people be like, I love that you did that. Because it's just funny.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not being crazy. I just think it's entertaining. So.
Well, my office smells like pumpkins year round.
We'll have to put a photo on our Instagram.
Yeah. And then I think that I'm going to make you a tree topper with my face on it. You're welcome.
That sounds
because
like
I'm a shining star. Yeah. And you get to look at it all day.
I already get to look at your fucking face all day.
I know. You are welcome to look at people would pay. If you would pay, email me. Just my face. I'm not doing OnlyFans yet. Anyway, let's go.
Love it.
Yes.
Well, everyone, like, rate, listen, subscribe.
I love your face every time you say it. You look
am
at me
I saying all the right things?
Yeah. Rate, subscribe, number 1. And then do the rest. And then follow us on Instagram.
And our Facebook. Oh, yeah, we ready?
You know why? Because it's Halloween.
Hashtag August 3rd. All right, you guys, we love you so much. Thanks for being our besties. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?